happy Sunday, or whatever time you decide to listen to this episode. We are going to celebrate life. We're going to celebrate Black wrestling of the way it should be celebrated. You know what I'm saying? As two young Black men that love wrestling a lot, man. We need bouquets on deck this week. You dig? And who better to do it for you than us as we talk about wrestling, literally, as we're going to prove today, again, like nobody else in the world. So again, that means that it's time for the first Black Champ podcast. And I'm Camp from the Port.
And I am JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download to the Barbershop Digital, home of First Black Champ. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at fbc.pod, the Facebook page First Black Champ, the group page First Black Champ, the YouTube page, the What Digital, home of content that you can find on First Black Champ. We're going to get some Lucy's on deck too. It's just been a lot of stuff going on.
Right,
but more importantly, man, go and get that merch. You see Cam from the Port, man. If you're looking at us on YouTube, and in fact, we are also on Twitch. The What Digital is on Twitch, so make sure you follow that too. We have merch. You see Cam from the Port with the First Black Champ chocolate. We got masks, ho. We got shirts, ho. We got sweats, ho. We got everything that you need. So go ahead.
Socks too, ho.
Got socks. So go ahead and get that merch. First Black Champ. Show up, show out. It's gonna be fans and stuff in Tampa. Matter of fact, before we even saw a video,
right?
Saw a video today, this morning.
Okay.
Right before the pod, I thought it was fake.
Okay.
But speaking of somebody that you sent up in the text group a video of, Moneybag Yo, apparently, like Tampa is open because there's a video of Moneybag Yo performing in Tampa, and all I saw was cell phone lights.
Damn, that many people?
Fam, I was like, yo, this gotta be like just I'm not ready for that yet. If anybody know me, I ain't the biggest fan of big ass crowds unless I'm working anyway.
Right.
So we still in COVID time. It's about like 4 or 5 different strands out there in the world. But go ahead and get your merch for First Black Champ. All right. The WrestleMania is coming. We say we're gonna have a deal for WrestleMania. We're gonna talk about that next week. Because if y'all going to Tampa for WrestleMania,
right,
rock some First Black Champ. We ain't gonna be there.
Right. Yeah, no. I'm good.
We ain't gonna be there. But feel free to do this while you in Tampa.
Absolutely, right.
Let's celebrate First Black Champ. Because we ain't
somebody know.
Right.
Hey, listen, COVID put me down for a month. I'm not going no fucking where thousands of people will be at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm decent.
I'm super decent. So because I really can't get COVID now. I can't get it.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Bang has way too many people in his house under 10.
Right.
So he can't get it.
And now I have pre-existing conditions. So with that being said, let's go ahead.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I literally fucking forgot about that.
I got pre-existing conditions, so yeah.
Yeah, damn it. Yeah.
I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna wait till WrestleMania 38 and make my plans.
Word.
So speaking of, we gonna have a special show today. And send some shouts outs to the people who definitely been paying attention to FBC Pod for years. And I'm gonna flat out say that made my week when it came to content. One of those reasons to keep on going. But to keep on going, we got to start at a place first. And we're gonna start at the Royal Rumble, where technically Cam from the Port was right. Technically. It might have been the wrong person, but technically, Cam from the Port was right. So to recap, Cam from the Port said that the third entrant in the Royal Rumble was going to win.
Yeah.
Now, he said the person was going to be Lacey Evans on some Ric Flair shit, but we don't worry about that on First Black Champ. We don't care about that. We care about the technicalities, all right? And wrestling is all
Right.
about the technicalities, all right? If the referee
Yeah.
says 1, 2, 3, no matter if it was a cheat or not, it's a 1, 2, 3. So
Right.
we're gonna give Cam from the Port his flowers today
Thank
because
you.
the third entrant in the Royal Rumble, Bianca Belair,
Yes.
won the Royal Rumble, making her the first African American woman to win the Royal Rumble and the second African American person to win the Royal Rumble because The Rock is the first, of course.
Yeah, 50% of them. Yes.
Right. So, and no matter what you think about the Samoan heritage and all that stuff, hey,
Right.
you have this much black in you, you black. So,
Yeah,
especially if
absolutely.
you're famous.
Yeah, hey, listen, that's what white people said. So.
Right, that's what people said. All right, hey, that's what they said.
Right.
So starting off with the Women's World Rumble, man, what are your thoughts on that? Did the right person win?
Man, okay. Let's dial back to our show when we talked about the Chronicle of Bianca Belair.
Yep.
And like everything in that does let you think, wow, she's going to do something major. And yeah, she's a candidate to win the Royal Rumble, but you think they don't quite pull the trigger just yet.
Right.
But I must admit, two things happened to me once it got down to her and Rhea Ripley. The first thing, I was instant shock. Like I froze when Rhea Ripley went out and Bianca was the winner. But then as I looked at the Rumble, the entire Rumble, I was like, damn, if what they say about the ratings and what they say about just like who's over and who's making the most of their time, who better than Bianca Belair to win the Royal Rumble? Like, honestly, in 2021, this has to be the most perfect sense move, I think, in wrestling in what, 3 years, maybe even 5, because it's answering all the questions, or it's answering all the gripes and complaints, I guess, all at one time. Y'all not putting new talent over. Y'all not giving the women a chance to shine. Y'all only care about the 4 horsewomen. Where's the black people and black representation? And how come we don't be winning like Royal Rumbles and main events?
Yeah.
The NXT women are better than a lot of the girls on the main roster. Like everything got answered with Bianca Belair's win. So it's like, wow, even though I was in complete shock, I didn't think they would pull the trigger this fast. I must admit, very happy to see it. It just makes sense. It makes so much sense in the world that you can't deny it. Like, this was the one time, this is the one Royal Rumble win that I've seen since we've had social media. So that's going back some time, where nobody argued that Bianca Belair was the right winner.
Right.
Like, you either had people that either was like, yo, yep, we all on board, or, oh, I didn't know a black girl was even giving it up like this on wrestling. And to them, we don't even acknowledge them. So
right, yeah. So I had Bianca Belair until last week.
Yeah.
I changed it to Rhea Ripley. And it,
yeah, I mean, hey, listen, between the both of us, y'all knew who was going to win the Rumble. We gave y'all the number and the winner and the last 2 in the ring.
Yes, we did.
And Lacey Evans came out with Ric Flair.
Yes, she did. All right. So now I don't want this to sound bad because I am happy Bianca Belair won. Mm-hmm. I'm conflicted.
Okay. I know where you're going, so let's go.
It's not because of Bianca Belair, because I truly believe that she deserves it. Mm-hmm. I just don't like I like Bianca Belair, the character. I just don't like where it seems to be going.
Okay.
And here's what I mean by this. Even when she beat Bayley, it seemed like she was just happy to beat Bayley. It's like, yay. And then when she went to the ring on Friday, she was on some hey girl shit with Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Especially when it's time for a title shot,
Mm-hmm.
you turn it up a notch.
Right.
Bitch, I like you, but I'm going to beat your ass.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, I want to see the Bianca Belair that went up against Rhea Ripley
Mm-hmm.
in NXT. I want to see the Bianca Belair that got her title shot and was like, I'm undefeated.
Yes.
I want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe that happens. The Rumble just happened. She hasn't picked who she's going to go against. I don't want her to go up against Asuka. I don't want her to go up against Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, no.
Because I still think Asuka's not going to carry the belt into WrestleMania.
Okay.
I don't want her to go up against Charlotte Flair. I want her to go up against Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Shit. I want her to beat Sasha Banks.
Yeah. And I'm on record as being more comfortable with that too.
Of course, because the black. She ain't losing to a blonde white woman at WrestleMania.
Dig?
But I want to see that Bianca Belair and not the I'm just so happy to be here.
Right.
Bianca Belair. I don't want to see the hey girl, no, that's my girl and all, No, I want to see the aggressive streak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind her going heel too.
No.
Like,
I think
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the Bianca Belair character we like is a heel.
Yes.
Like it's the super ghetto girl that can fight, so don't nobody fuck with her.
Right. So I don't mind her after one of these pay-per-views. She give you this happy-go-lucky shit, but then at the pay-per-view, beat the shit out of Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Just to let Sasha Banks know, bitch, it ain't sweet.
Right.
I don't want them to give her the character that I'm so happy to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I want them to give her the character of it's turn up time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the EST's time.
Yes.
Ain't no WrestleMania without the EST.
Yeah. And also, you can't be the EST and happy to be here at the same time.
Bingo.
Like the EST, no, I should have been here. like it ain't like we. And to your point, I am worried that they are trying to give her an underdog story.
Right. I don't want
when that's not how she came in. That's not what worked. That's not what got her moved up. So
that's my only worry here.
That's
my only worry here. Now, 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the line, things can all change. But that's why I'm conflicted. It's not about her. It's the character going into the match. And you guarantee Rhea Ripley not going to win that shit. And they're going to give her the, I'm so happy to be here. They're going to give her the, I came in as the NXT champion last year. The first NXT champion to defend their belt at WrestleMania. I lost it. This shit's not going to happen again.
Right.
The other part of it is just transitioning a little bit to the runner-up, which is Rhea Ripley. They better not just give her runner-up status and then I want to see, and I predicted it last week, I want to see Charlotte Rhea Ripley too.
Yeah.
I think Rhea Ripley got cheated with having a match without fans. I think Rhea Ripley got cheated in the way that they gave Charlotte Flair the belt with no rub. I want to see Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair in Tampa with 25,000 fans in that stadium, and I want to see her win.
Okay, and I'm with that. And I will say, it does seem like they do have Charlotte in super put women over mode. Like they gave her 3 years of unquestioned dominance, and now we're in a space where it looks like she's just there to serve as the hey, I'm the new natty,
Right.
basically. Which I'm not mad at because she already held every women's title. Um, she's already got the longest pay-per-view streak and the best pay-per-view record.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously, unless she decides that she's going to stop and like raise a family or start a family, I'm sorry, and take a few years off, like she's done everything that you need to do to be a legend in the Hall of Famer and to come back at any period of time, and people are like, "Oh shit, it's you," you know. So yeah, if all she's doing is putting over the women in an effort to make sure it's in a good space until she get back, I think that's dope
Yeah.
as well. So,
Transitioning to the men.
mhm.
Don't think nobody expected this one.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm sorry. You want to go or here or?
Yeah, I mean, the number one entrant in the Royal Rumble wins again. Edge outlasted 29 other men to win this year's Royal Rumble. I'll start this one off.
Okay.
This is probably the most indifferent I've ever felt about a Royal Rumble winner in my life.
Okay.
In the years of the Royal Rumble. I laugh. Okay. Edge.
Yeah.
Only thing I can say about that after that was we're gonna get some hell of a promos from Buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't think we're gonna not get a promo show out of this. To the point where I've already said in my head, I hope that he goes against Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be too easy for him to go up against Roman Reigns with the promos that can happen.
Yeah. They sell themselves.
Yeah. The person who needs it the most is Drew. He needs Edge. Roman Reigns don't need Edge. In fact, based off of what I saw on SmackDown, I watched SmackDown this morning, the end of it. But throw something out here. And I want to get your thoughts. That's why I wanted to go first.
Okay.
Roman Reigns is hell-bent on being the main event guy. He's hell-bent on being the Owl of Relevancy, all of those things. To the point where he wants Edge to fight him because he feels that he's the main event. You should want to fight me. So just come to the Owl of Relevancy.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Acknowledge me as your tribal chief, all of that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know you need your payday. Look at your body. Look at your life.
All right. Edge says, I don't need you. So no. I'm not going to fight you. But this is what's going to happen though. I talked to WWE officials. And the three men who were not in the Royal Rumble are going to get the shot that they were not able to because they weren't in there. And then we're going to match them with three other guys. That way, you can, and this is just me crafting the storyline. I don't expect this to happen.
Right.
If you do, you know where it came from. You get, let's say, Jey Uso, who's not in the Royal Rumble.
Right. Yeah.
Keith Lee.
Conspicuous.
Right. Keith Lee, who's not in the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And I'll figure out the third person who wasn't in the Rumble.
Right.
And you put them in the ring in an Elimination Chamber match with Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, and one more person.
Right.
I would have said Damian Priest, And you see, I called him by his name.
Right, yeah.
Might
So
have to
El
get a little
Vampiro.
bit of respect. Talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But that way, you bring the guys back in who couldn't make the Rumble, possibly Keith Lee, contact tracing, or Jey Uso, to keep the people there at bay. Like I said, one more person, and then put them with 3 people, and then the winner of the Royal Rumble, the winner of the Elimination Chamber, is now the number 1 contender, and will be on the Isle of Relevance.
Right.
That's Keith Lee.
I dig it.
That's how if Keith Lee was the original winner of the Royal Rumble, I said that he is going to go up against Roman Reigns.
True.
This is how you put Keith Lee in a match with Roman Reigns. And then with Edge, Drew McIntyre needs somebody to bring him out. But he can't do it as a face.
Yeah.
He has to do it as a heel, in my opinion. But I have another idea here.
Okay.
Rated RKO back.
Hey, which the promo Randy Orton cut on Raw was phenomenal, by the way.
Yes, it was. But what I mean by that is simple. They two would have one common enemy.
Drew
McIntyre. You destroy Drew McIntyre, and then Edge comes with the lovely heel promo. Because if you gonna keep Drew McIntyre as a babyface, you're gonna need a qualified ass heel that can talk and bring it for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we all know if it's one person that can do that, it is Edge.
Yes.
And that's how we put him over without bringing a Brock Lesnar or anybody else to get in a rematch with Drew McIntyre.
Yes. To your point on that, we might have casually underrated the ultimate opportunist Edge. And we conveniently forget who the rated R superstar Edge is. And both of those guys definitely are what Drew McIntyre needs right now. Whether you're talking title legitimacy, title reign legitimacy, or compelling story being created by another character. Because granted, I think Randy Orton did the best he could with what Drew McIntyre is.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're really looking at it from the right scope, he was trying to kill a man becoming a legend while he was in legend killer mode.
There you go.
So the story really was about Randy Orton and not about Drew McIntyre. So at least Edge can kind of redirect this and be like, well, hey, everybody knows my story. And you know what? I'm pissed that you think that this is going to be easy for you. When I was doing this shit, when they told you that you would be this 20 years ago. So for Drew's sake, as well as Edge's, because yes, this is what makes the WWE Championship more compelling as we close out what is the season of the WWE going into WrestleMania. I do think that's most important. Back to your Royal Rumble thoughts. Even though I do call this the greatest number 1 contenders match of all time, right? Here is my instant beef.
Okay.
Now, being number 1 is almost synonymous with winning the Royal Rumble. Now, when you're 1, 2, and even 3, when you're the first 3, You're almost guaranteed now to last to the end,
Yep.
last the longest,
Yep.
and your probability of winning is greater than the person that draw 15, 20, and 30.
Mm.
And I don't like that. Like
Good
I don't
point.
like that. Like now it's like because like granted, and the fact that the Royal Rumble ended with number one and number two, we literally bang had a conversation 3-4 weeks ago of how we've been watching that since 1995.
Yep. Because in 1995, the Royal Rumble that them niggas shitted on, you
Man,
had the 1 and 2 Royal Rumble entrants, Shawn Michaels and Davey Boy Smith. Damn, they do the same shit.
thank you. Thank you. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, and motherfuckers that don't know real shit about real wrestling history, that's why you can't shit on the 95 Rumble. Literally, they redid the 1995 Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah.
The story was, and the only difference is the story of the number one entrant. That was the coming out party for Shawn Michaels. This is the welcome home for Edge. Like,
that's why you got to know your history, and that's going to be a reoccurring theme today. But
yes,
let's talk about some of the highlights in the Royal Rumble match. And I've been shitting on Mexican Vampiro this whole
Viva
time.
Vampiro!
Only to find out it's Puerto Rican Vampiro.
Uh-oh.
No, because the next night on the Raw, Damian Priest came out, and he came out with Bad Bunny, and he had the Puerto Rican flag on his tights. So it's like, hey, my bad, Puerto Rican Vampiro.
That is a thing.
But I said that he was going to be one of the entrants in the Royal Rumble. I mean, I think it was common sense because they've been trying to debut him. He was supposed to debut as Kevin Owens' friend.
Yeah,
and, that didn't make sense, and Roman Reigns and company said that didn't make sense. However, he came into the Royal Rumble and he might have been one of the people that eliminated the most people.
He literally went Kane.
And eliminated Kane. At that, the other part of that too is I didn't realize how tall he was.
Yeah.
Until he stood face to face with Kane.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. He's 6'7", 6'8".
Right.
Okay. So I'm still not the biggest fan of Damian Priest. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still not the biggest fan of him.
Right.
But he impressed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
In the Royal Rumble. Was it Damian Priest obviously impressed you. Like how did he impress you? And was there anybody else who impressed you in the Rumble?
Man, you know what? As a person that was, I watched Damian Priest come in that first time, and I just, how you're just not sold on a person, and I think atmosphere is everything.
Yeah.
I want to make a correlation to somebody that I think that we both definitely like, and that's Aleister Black, right?
Yeah.
Something about the aesthetics of Aleister Black being in NXT, I liked him a lot more than I do with him being on SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah.
So like the entrance hits harder, he hits harder. What he represents as a character, it just hits harder in that smaller just stage, I guess. Or that smaller atmosphere, that really nuts and bolts type of deal. Damian Priest, I must say, he looks like he's doing too much in NXT to me, but everything about his aesthetics felt right in the place on Raw and at the Royal Rumble.
Yes, it's kind of like Elias. Yeah. Elias at NXT, I was like, oh yeah, they need the Future Endeavor, homie. He gets to the main roster, and now we're like, oh man, evil honky tonk man.
Yeah, like, and maybe this is what they call it, right? Maybe this is what we call it factor. This is how you celebrate the real sports entertainers, and it's not that all three of these gentlemen are not entertaining, but environment is everything. Different people, different environments breed different results. Something about Damian Priest just hits harder. since that Rumble entrance, the performance, and then on Raw, I was like, yo, yeah, he does seem like he just belongs on here. It didn't make me an instant fan, but I got it. You
Right.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it wasn't like it wasn't like them breaking up the hype bros and putting Mojo Rawley out there solo for me. And I
Right.
hate to always go back to homie, but
Uh,
hype bros worked in NXT really well. Like it worked so much greater. Hell, Nikki Cross worked a whole lot better in NXT. I mean, obviously they sabotaged Sanity, so but like,
yeah.
so sometimes like you just get that I'm too great for just indie recognition, but I'm not top tier superstar.
See, to add to what you're saying, right?
Hmm.
This gives me more of a reason why they need to stop playing with NXT and elevate them as a true third brand.
Hmm.
But also, some people just need to be there.
Right.
Like I commend Ciampa, Ciampa to say, hey, if I go anywhere else, fam, I'm retired. And the crazy thing is, where I don't like, I get tired of them fighting each other. But
Yeah.
when Ciampa and Gargano wrestled on Raw that night, I was like, yo, they fit.
Hmm.
They fit. That's cool.
Right.
Because they were small guys who didn't wrestle small and didn't wrestle small.
Right.
So it's like, okay. But you got people like, what's my man name? Ah, my man with the that was I hate that his name is on the tip of my tongue. Pause. But my man who was with Daniel Bryan and then he quit. I mean, then the contract and then he came back.
Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak, yes. Drew Gulak fits on NXT.
Yeah.
Fits on NXT. To me, he don't fit on Raw SmackDown. He fits NXT. To me, he's a future NXT champion. He's a future NXT North American champion.
And it makes perfect sense. Like Drew and Roderick Strong, that should be a thing.
Yes. Like Catch Point should be in NXT. Like that fits to me. Fandango and homie don't fit on the main roster. Yeah, they don't fit on the main roster. Tyler Breeze is probably somebody who shouldn't have never left NXT. You got somebody to me like Sami Zayn who can float and fit anywhere. But he definitely could be a two-time NXT champion. Like I think these rosters are not even.
Right.
And I think elevating NXT to what it should be makes it even.
Yeah. I'm with you.
But you only can do that if you stop playing and make them a third brand. Because here's my hot take today.
Okay.
So NXT been getting their ass whooped in the ratings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And AEW fans can't wait to tell us that.
Yeah. And I've said it here. I've said on social media, I could give a fuck about a rating.
Right.
I can. And mainly because people are going to watch and should watch AEW more.
Yeah.
Because the stars on there are bigger than the stars on NXT.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Chris Jericho is a more known commodity to the American wrestling audience than Finn Balor.
Right. Period.
Kenny Omega, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is at this point. I say that to say this. WWE needs to do two things. Mm-hmm. Because I think the hot take here is this. People no longer respect NXT because they know what it is. It's just a feeder.
Mm. Yeah.
So why am I going to put this much time into a feeder when AEW is the Raw or SmackDown of that organization.
Right. Exactly.
NXT at this point right now is AEW Dark.
Mm-hmm.
What they need to do is move it to Thursday.
Yeah.
Just move NXT to Thursday. And then make it a true third brand.
I want to say this because it's actually a callback to what I said in like 2019. I want to say summer 2019. Because I do agree with you about elevating the brand. But I want to say, I want to go back to when I said that lightning in the bottle golden era pocket of NXT is just over.
Yeah.
And because in my mind, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but if you take what NXT was in 2018 or spring of 2019, they're crushing AEW in ratings if it's on the USA Network.
Yep.
Because who was on there at that time still? Bianca Belair, Asuka, Shayna Baszler. You still had Velveteen Dream was still rocking super hard.
Before the bullshit happened.
The Gargano Ciampa feud is at fever pitch. Apollo Crews is still there, and he got hope. Sanity is still there. Like there is, like, and I don't even think. No, wait, no. Bailey's been there since 2018. I'm sorry. Somebody else did not move up quite yet. And then, but then even without all of that, you still have the Undisputed Era at their peak. If they're on USA in 2018, we're having a way different conversation about how all this shit looks. Again, I just think that lightning in the bottle pocket is just over with. Street Profits was still there. Like, dog, if everything is like, even with just who we named that we know for sure that was there in 2018 and 19, this shit goes way different. Because no way that y'all telling me that any tag team on the AEW roster period is fucking with the Street Profits in 2018 on NXT on USA. Like, that's just not fucking happening. Like, you not telling us that y'all fucking with anybody harder than y'all was fucking with Asuka during that time when they was not on TV. Like, you're not. Andrade was still there. Drew McIntyre was there. Fucking, and if we went back to when Bobby Roode was there, like, dude, that 2017 to 19 pocket of NXT is killing every fucking thing that's on AEW the past year. And if that program played out just like the first year of AEW played out with all the botches and the damn near kills, we roasting the fuck out of AEW, and that shit probably don't survive.
Yep.
So I would just like that calibration to be understood. Like, the best moments of NXT didn't make network TV.
And to your point, that's why you need to elevate it now.
Mm-hmm.
That era's done. That era of them far and away being the best show on the weekend during pay-per-views is over.
Yeah, it is.
It's not that the talent is not there, though. I think also part of it is, all right, man, we know what to expect, but then we know if this person loses, he's going to the main roster. So let's see him on Raw SmackDown. Let's see her on Raw SmackDown. So, all right, make it a true third brand. Put some of them people on Raw and SmackDown over here. And then that way it's easier for the Damian Priests and the alliances to go elsewhere. Because I'm looking at Damian Priest a lot different. I've said Damian Priest's name on this podcast more today than I have ever said.
Right.
On the podcast.
Correct name.
People gonna listen to this pod today and be like, wait a minute. You didn't call him Mexican or Puerto Rican Vampiro. Oh shit. That's because my mind state has changed, because he looks a lot better than he did amongst NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, some of those wrestlers just need to be there. Karrion Kross is another one. Yo, I was so happy that when they signed him, I expected him to be on Raw or SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
When they put him in NXT, I was like, oh, well, he's gonna win the title. Like, foregone conclusion. As soon as you saw his first intro, with nobody there.
Right. Right.
Like, not a soul was in that bitch yet.
Yeah, his shit hard as fuck.
Yeah, you like, why they wasting this here? Like, all in pray. Scarlet Bordeaux.
Alistair Black was still there when they went on TV. I'm sorry. I just like fam.
Like, they have to even these rosters out. Because I think the wrestling fan is a lot smarter than they was in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. They're a lot smarter when it comes to that particular product.
Yeah. Yep.
They've done what they were supposed to do. That's why we have the Kevin Owens and the Sami Zayns and the Drew McIntyres and the Bobby Roodes, the Shayna Baszlers, the Bianca Belairs. They've done it. But what NXT has become now more than ever has been the independent folks come there and then they go.
Yeah.
Nah, fam.
Right.
There's not a lot of legit homegrown talents. Like I ain't do shit, and then I signed with the WWE.
Right.
Then I was in NXT for this whole time.
Right.
Like, nah, like people know who these wrestlers are before they get to the WWE. Niggas knew who Kevin Owens was before he came in the WWE. They knew who Kevin Steen was.
Right.
They knew who El Generico was. They knew who Finn Balor was. They knew Prince Devitt. They knew who all these guys are.
Right.
So, yeah, those cats, hey, we just want to put them in the system and then move them up. Don't rush. But there's a lot like the Tyler Breezes, though. Could have stayed his ass in NXT and probably been a 2-3 time NXT champion.
Facts.
Right? So, us wrestling fans, we get it now, Triple H. We get it now. Like, yo, NXT is where they come first. However, we are now at a point where I lose the belt, I go up.
Yeah.
So why I'm going to be truly invested in NXT if when a nigga lose, we know they going up. Keith Lee wins the title, loses it 32 days later, and is on Raw the next day.
Against Randy Orton.
And Keith Lee is one of those people that didn't need to be in NXT that long.
True.
But if you bring Keith Lee up, who can I bring over here? Who can I move over here? You know we can move over here? Dominic fucking Mysterio.
Yes. Him in NXT is a great idea.
With his daddy, sponsored by Victoria.
There you go. The beer.
Right.
So
that's the reason. That's one of the main reasons. That's my hot take. That's my hot take. The reason why NXT is doing so bad in the ratings, because simply put, we know it's a feeder system.
Right.
Why I'm gonna watch the feeder system when I could watch the main show that night.
Right.
Whether the product is bad or not.
Right. Because you know those guys won't be going anywhere by June.
Right. I know they gonna still be there. I know it.
But yeah, and you know what? And as a sidebar, I want any AEW supporter or just any anti-Vince person, right? I want to know from y'all specifically, since AEW's conception, are y'all telling us or telling me specifically that October 2019 is when that debuted? So are y'all taking their October 2019 to their February 2021 against NXT's 2017 and 18?
I'm not.
That wasn't on TV.
I'm not.
If y'all telling me that that's fucking with that, then we can have a real conversation about how great AEW is. I know y'all won't. I know y'all won't say it, but I'm just saying. 2017 and 2018. I'm not even trying to get. We're not even trying to widen the bridge of like how much AEW content matches takeovers happen. But 2017, 2018, I think is like the apex of what NXT.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, hell, those years are why it's on TV, why they did the invasion, and what you know what I'm saying? Like all that other shit happened based on what happened in 2017 and 18 specifically. No disrespect to the groundwork laid in the years before, but that was when like it was like not only is this the feeder, but this is the superstar feeder.
Right. Right. Before we move on to I think an important day in this pod.
Believe it.
Let's predict the Royal Rumble. I mean, let's predict the main events at WrestleMania with the champ.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be a current champion.
Mm-hmm.
Just who do you think is going to face for the Universal, WWE, SmackDown, and Raw Women's Championship? So let's start with the Women's Championships. Currently, Asuka is the Raw Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Who does she keep the belt going into WrestleMania or not? If not, who will be the champion? I mean, overall, what is the Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania?
It's gonna be Lacey Evans versus Charlotte Flair.
Ooh.
This is what I see happening. This is just based off what happened on Raw. So now Charlotte and Asuka are both at costing the team a loss apiece, right? And then to get beat by Naomi and Lana, that's just like funny, right? So their feud has to happen, and I think the title comes off of Asuka at the next pay-per-view because I believe Asuka and Bliss are going to be at WrestleMania as well. I like how they're kind of revamping Undertaker versus the Ultimate Warrior with these two, or even dare I say a better version of the Ultimate Warrior versus Papa Shango with Bliss and Asuka.
Both feuds never finished.
There you go. So that's what I see. And to make it make sense, Asuka gotta lose the belt in order for it to, you know what I'm saying, make sense. And to be real, I wouldn't even be surprised if a situation where Lacey Evans, with Flair's help, beats Asuka and Charlotte got to go get the belt at Mania. I'm not even off that because what better time for Lacey Evans to hold the Raw title and to make it make sense for why this is even necessary? Because like the better story, the better story is, look, you don't want to listen to your pops. I do. I'm even willing to give him some of this American cookie to get the belt. Look how much he's changed my life while you've been out here bricking. You lost at the Rumble. You lost your tag team champions. And then you lost your belt. So, I mean, like when you, and now you got to, no, I didn't, no, Asuka lost the belt. I beat your partner. And now you got to come get the belt from me. And you can't because the guy that taught you everything that you know taught me everything that I know. And I'm better than you.
Okay. I'm going to stick with Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte.
Okay.
I think that match is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to happen at one of the other pay-per-views.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen at
one
of
the
fast
lane jump off.
Yeah, a little fast lane jump off. Basically, Lacey Evans is the Mr. Perfect right now. So, but no, I have Rhea versus Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, that ultimately means that I have Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks.
Yes, and I'm on record. I want to see that.
Right.
Because no matter what, we get a black woman as a champ when it's over. We won.
We won, and you know what? I'll save it for our next segment.
Okay.
Because we don't get a lot of blacks versus blacks at WrestleMania.
Yes. There's that.
And we got to salute one of the men that was in one of the first. It was in the first black on black match at WrestleMania. All right. So let's go to Raw.
Yes.
We got Drew McIntyre, and then we got Roman Reigns as the champ on SmackDown. So let's start with Raw first. Who does Drew McIntyre face at WrestleMania?
Man, right now, right now it's Edge, right? And since Edge already has his ticket to WrestleMania,
yep,
I really think just the Sheamus thing is just to get him through one more month as they build a fever pitch to WrestleMania. My hang up here is that the Miz does fall into place in here somewhere.
We still fit them in.
Yeah, but I don't see them wasting a fatal four-way, if you will, at WrestleMania on specifically Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Miz, and Edge. But at the same time, wouldn't that make the hunt for the WWE Championship more interesting? You know, like, and then honestly, what if they add Morrison in and then Edge cashes in that night? Like, honestly, and I know it sounds super like probably crazy or whatever, like, but I see a fatal four-way for the WWE Championship because they're telling too many stories at one time.
Okay, who in that fatal four-way?
I'll go right back to it. Champion Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Edge, and I'm gonna say the Miz. I'm gonna say the Miz. He cashes in, and because he has a 25% chance with Morrison on the outside that he'll win. Because again, they're just telling too many stories at the same time. Like, because the turn for Sheamus should have happened for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's what we was thinking.
Like, he literally kicked dude in the face after he got his potential number one contenders match. Like, after he's already 50% booked his WrestleMania match.
Right.
And now we do it. Miz didn't even try to cash in at all at the WrestleMania.
Which was shocking to me.
Yeah.
That should shock the hell out of me.
So, you know, and then the story Edge is telling here. I mean, hell, it wouldn't even surprise me if it was a fucking ladder match at fucking WrestleMania. Like, at this point, like it really was. It was a fatal four-way ladder match. Like, I wouldn't even, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only audible in that is Keith Lee instead of the Miz. Two faces, two heels. You determine who they are, and then the Miz cashes in. I mean, especially, hell, because if Brock Lesnar can enter a Money in the Bank,
yeah.
to get a briefcase, obviously you can enter a ladder match at WrestleMania for the title and just go get the bitch.
I have a guarantee.
Let's do it.
So I do have Drew McIntyre versus Edge.
Okay.
For the championship. I have Edge winning.
Me too.
And Miz cashing in on the next night.
Okay. Hey, that is so realistic as we talk about wrestling, like, because no matter what though, I do want to, and we can guarantee this or whatever. Edge is winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't. Now, you want to talk about a waste of time? A waste of time is him having cut that promo a week before the Royal Rumble, enter at number 1, win the Rumble, end the feud with Randy Orton the next night, and go all the way to fucking WrestleMania and lose.
As the face.
Right. That's a waste of fucking time. Shit, as the heel, that's a waste of fucking time.
Only reason why I say that because Shawn Michaels didn't beat Diesel.
But we know the play on that though.
Right.
When we look back, like it was like, hey man, are you sure you want to leave? I mean, hey, you're gonna beat Shawn Michaels for the belt. I put the battery in his back and got him, made him get rid of Bret Hart for me.
Right, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I think the Miz wins the next night at Bizarro Raw Day. And then let's go to SmackDown.
Okay.
That means obviously we don't have the Royal Rumble winner going up against the Tribal Chief.
Right.
I've already said for me it's Roman Reigns versus Keith Lee.
Right.
I gave up an idea about how I would do it, but I see either way it go, they finesse Keith Lee in there. Who you got?
Oh man, Isle of Relevancy, right?
Who's gonna become relevant? Who's gonna become a main man?
Right, man. To be honest, man, I don't know. I don't know for this reason, because everybody that potentially would make sense should not be facing this Roman Reigns. Like Daniel Bryan should not be facing this Roman Reigns, even though I like that Daniel Bryan will wrestle bigger than his actual size or stature. Part of me also believes that the Isle of Relevancy makes sense for Braun Strowman, but we can never forget that Roman Reigns choked him out and made him go to Raw. So like, even if it was an elimination chamber aspect as what you were speaking of earlier, that shouldn't be the guy to win it. Like, I honestly think that another moment has to happen for Roman Reigns to get his opponent, because as we talk about this, and if star power is the issue, and we got 2 days for WrestleMania, I'm now back on the Kool-Aid of it's The Rock, because there's actually a story to be told in that, especially if you've watched the Icons episode with Yokozuna. Like, there is a reason to do that. Like, there's a reason to do that. It's way too early for Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns right now. Way too early.
Yeah.
It's and nobody else just makes sense. Like, sorry fellas, Cesaro is not fucking going to WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. That's not happening. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. No, I'll say right this, where we sit right now in February 7th, nobody makes sense to go after Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania, nobody makes sense to me right now. Unless we're talking a thing with Keith Lee getting an opportunity to go over there. That is it. Like that makes more sense than not, and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Based on how the rosters are set up. Just based on how the rosters are set up. Like, that shouldn't happen. Like, no, it should be somebody over here that he can give a title shot to, and it makes sense.
Right. All right, man. Well, we'll see what happens. Shit's gonna be interesting as hell, but we're gonna see what happens.
Word.
So I wanted to spend the rest of the show spotlighting somebody who we've talked about on this show before.
Yes.
We didn't really devote a whole entire show to this person. We didn't do an oral history or anything like that. We really just talked about the history of the tag team. But the natural Hacksaw Butch Reed had passed away this weekend. Apparently, he was in failing health. He had 2 heart attacks.
Damn.
Leading up to his passing. I think he was 67, 68 years old. Butch Reed was one of the first wrestlers that I gravitated to. That's black.
Yes.
Didn't know anything about Mid-South. Hell, he was a blip in my memory at WrestleMania 4.
Yeah.
My main memory of Butch Reed comes from the tag team Doom.
Okay.
And when they lost to the Steiner brothers and they had to take off their masks. Now, I know that some wrestling pundits and people would say everybody knew who Doom was because there was only 2 black people in WCW at the time in the first place. But as a young ass kid, I didn't.
Right. Exactly.
I just knew it was 2 black dudes in a mask walking around with a white woman.
Right, nigga, I'm 6.
Right. I'm just amazed by seeing 2 black men, big black men in a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Steiner brothers demasked them, I was upset. I was pissed. Fuck they do that for? And then of course, Doom lose the mask. They have epic feuds or whatever, but don't want to move too fast here. When did you first come in contact with the wrestler Butch Reed?
Mm-hmm. As just being all of my early wrestling just knowledge and information all comes from the WWF, right? So when my first memory of Butch Reed, he was the natural. He had on a black vest. He had blonde hair. He used to kiss his biceps. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And I would then mimic and do that shit when we be wrestling, whether it was in the churchyard, at a Steve Bell crib in the backyard. Like I was just always like, yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Be like, and give it up like a natural Butch Reed. Why? Because that was the cool black guy that I seen. And he looked a lot like a dude that used to be at my uncle crib to me. Like, I was like, yo, maybe y'all go to the Silver Night with Butch Reed. Like, I don't know, like I'm a kid. So, you know, but that was my first memory of him. And then of course him and Slick. So those are my memories. I end up getting into WCW later. So I do see him. And I end up seeing Doom. I don't think it's in real time. Well, I see him without mask.
Right.
Because obviously I see the build up for what is Ron Simmons' title run. So I get to like right before then. So I don't really probably see Doom at their peak in real time. But I do see, I was like, oh shit, that's the natural Butch Reed. And he with Ron Simmons. Like, okay, boom, boom, boom. So those are that is my memory. Butch Reed to me will always be the first black wrestler that just resonated as a black wrestler to respect.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like even with the blonde hair, it wouldn't like it wasn't a stereotype in that for me. Like his presentation didn't look stereotypical. He's a really big, strong black dude. He was like muffing the shit out of people and beating up motherfuckers, but he was arrogant. Like he was on this, like he was kind of on this Billy Graham shit and this Hulk Hogan shit. But you know, and they weren't reducing him to like singing or dancing or just something like he really wasn't in the entertain the folks, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like
he didn't have a bird.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have a bird, he didn't wear a lot of glitz and glamour. Like for some reason, and maybe it's just a testament to the character that he was just as a person. He was like, no, you know what? You know what my gimmick is? I'm strong and I whoop motherfuckers. That's what my gimmick is. and I loved it. I loved it.
So I brought up WrestleMania and how Sasha Banks Bianca Belair should be the match. And I said that it's very rare that you will see two black people wrestle at a pay-per-view, let alone WrestleMania. And honestly, I can't remember how many times. I do remember the first though. Do remember the first time I saw it, and technically Butch Reed made history. Because I mean, of course, I didn't see WrestleMania 3 in real time.
Right.
But I had got the WrestleMania DVD box set when they had released it. So I was like, yeah, this shit's $150. I'm copping this shit. And I remember watching WrestleMania 3 because at the time I did not watch the whole entire pay-per-view of WrestleMania 3. So I watched them in order. I watched WrestleMania 1. I saw Junkyard Dog versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. He won by countout. It was for the Intercontinental Championship. He didn't win it because he won by countout.
Right.
And then I see the Mr. T shit at WrestleMania 2. And I think George, I forgot my man's name, but he was a jobber. He had lost to he had lost to Jake the Snake.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name at all, but I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, it's like what in the world going on? Like, got a bald-headed black dude. What was my man's name? I want to make sure I get my man's name right.
You gotta take this DDT. That's what you gotta take tonight.
And it was a quick ass match. I do know that shit. Match was quick, motherfuckers. Like, damn, for real, nigga. Like, this nigga just came in. It's George Wells.
There you go.
George Wells. That's what his name was. George Wells. Quick ass match. Then WrestleMania 3. I'm watching WrestleMania 3, and I'm like, wait a minute, oh shit. Coco Beware wrestled Butch Reed. Butch Reed was in the WWE at this. Yes, he was. Because then I remember Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And how he was on Survivor Series. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Butch Reed is the first African-American male to win a match at WrestleMania by pin.
Very important that you say that.
By pin, because Junkyard Dog is the first to win a match. Of course, count out. But Butch Reed was the first person to win by pin, defeating Coco Beware at WrestleMania 3. Butch Reed's WrestleMania record is 1-1. Because then at WrestleMania 4, he loses to Macho Man in the first round of the tournament, the championship tournament.
Which was difficult for me, by the way. I want to say.
Why was it difficult?
Because it's fucking Butch Reed. I'm like, hey, listen, I love the Macho Man. I'm not top 3, top 5, but no lower ever, right? But that was Butch Reed, though. I was like, yo, no, I'm fucking Butch Reed, you know? like instantly for me, and this is why I can't wait till we do our 50, because in this WrestleMania 4 pocket of time, even though obviously I'm here because of Hulkamania, right? But the 3 wrestlers that I do seem to gravitate to a lot are Hercules, Don the Rock Morocco, and the natural Butch Reed. Like, those are my fucking guys.
The big card man right there. I feel you.
Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I that's why I have like the greatest mid-card like matches of all time. Like, because I like crazy, like these are my favorite wrestlers.
I feel you. So he goes to WCW. Now, mind you, again, I don't see him until he takes off the mask, but he goes to WCW a little bit, NWA, WCW, Jim Crockett Promotions a little bit after that. So my story, and I talked about it here and I'll talk about it again, comes from Doom versus the Fabulous Freebirds.
Yeah.
At Wrestle War 91. Now, Wrestle War 91 is the first pay-per-view that I go to my parents. I say, can we rent this? And my father say, go ahead, but don't go to sleep. And I watched that pay-per-view by myself. My father's like, I ain't about to watch this wrestling with you. You got it. I'm going to sleep. So Doom is my favorite tag team at this point. I've seen Doom go up against the 4 Horsemen and not back down and heel versus heel matches. I see them beat down the Steiner brothers. I see them as the tag team champs.
Yeah.
I see them as heels. I see them as faces. I didn't necessarily like them as faces, but it is what it is at this point.
Right.
Teddy Long is their manager. They go up against the Freebirds. They lose against the Freebirds when they try to. Well, they're heels at this point, and they hit. Well, Ron Simmons tried to hit Butch Reed. Well, tried to hit Jimmy Garvin, I think it was, with some knucks. He ended up missing. No, Butch Reed tried to hit Ron Simmons. I mean, look, let me rephrase this again. Butch Reed tries to hit Jimmy Garvin with the knucks. Yes. He misses, hits Ron Simmons.
Yes.
And then they lose.
Right, but wait. We'll be clear. He shrugged it off like, dude, the fuck you doing?
Right. That's what was next. He gets mad at Ron Simmons for taking a punch. And they jump Ron Simmons. Kent, when I say I was a sad ass kid, come on, man. What?
Yeah, man.
First of all, why y'all jumping on Ron? You hit him. Two, why y'all fight, man? Y'all brothers. Stop playing, man. Get off that.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
It's the infamous interview that was done right afterwards.
Yeah.
With a black kid.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Ross says to the kid, he asks him, who's your favorite wrestler? And he says, Doom. And the reaction that was given by Jim Ross, it was like, well,
hey,
you ain't
bro,
gonna have to worry about watching them no more.
Right. It's like, hey, I mean, I know you don't know, but hey, the guy sitting next to me, yeah, he ended that shit. Right,
man. I'm looking, I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm the black kid. Matter of fact, hold on. Because I think we need to hear this. Hold on for a second. As we get on StreamYard. Hold on for a second.
Yeah.
I think we need to
podcast.
Yeah, I think we need to hold on. I mean, there we go. Let's share the screen. Oh man, Chrome has lost the permission. Nah. Okay. It should have been on there. I'm gonna download this while we got a chance. I'm gonna download this video because I think the people need to hear it.
Yeah, it's very important.
It's very important.
And and I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But I was gonna say, but also as in how we view black wrestling, like I think it's so important that all black wrestling fans really look at Doom with Teddy Long, because as much complaining as we've heard over the last few years, and how it's just easy to ignite all of you new wrestling fans about representation and what matters and how you want to be perceived. Y'all don't even understand that, Doom was our Legion of Doom. They were our Powers of Pain. It was our Demolition. Like, we had two no-nonsense black men in the ring that really whooped ass. That could really wrestle.
And whooped the best ass. So
yes.
They was beat the Steiner brothers.
Yes.
The Four Horsemen.
Yes.
Niggas wasn't fighting them and winning.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really go into tag team allure, like, I mean, I get it, y'all. Y'all finally know who Tony Atlas and Soul Man Rocky Johnson are, and I get it, right?
Do they?
But it's so important to know who Doom was and what Doom represented, and the two men that come together and do it. Like you're never going to see a moment in time for Butch Reed where he's Coco B. Waring. You know what I'm saying? Like he's never gonna be even like Johnny B. Bad or like or Norman Smiley, or he's never gonna be in a New Day beginning stage. Like no,
he's not Jive Soul Bro.
Yes, you know what I'm saying.
Maddox got Jive Soul Bro.
That's right.
But he was the muscle.
Right. And oh, I'm so glad you said that as we say this right here. And even with the Jive Soul Bro, it didn't compromise the character and it didn't compromise the wrestler that he was. It was like, yo, no, you running with me make you tougher. Like, yo, nobody gonna fuck with you because I'm out here. It's like literally like for me, Butch Reed is like ultimate big bro vibes for all you young cats that might need a reference.
Oh,
like
he's definitely the fam. You say what you want. You say what you want to these cats, I got your back.
Right. It's like, no, they ain't gonna do nothing. Hey, yo.
They ain't gonna do nothing to you.
Like, do whatever you want out here. I don't care. Like, cause ain't nobody whooping my ass. Like,
right. Ain't nobody whooping my ass.
You know
so if ain't nobody whooping my ass, ain't nobody whooping your ass.
Right.
and you know what? And why this downloads, that was present to me when they went back and forth with the Four Horsemen.
Yes.
Because as I had said before, the Four Horsemen was the group that nobody fucked with.
Right.
And if you did, however, fuck with them, you were like Sting or Lex Luger.
Right, exactly.
So it was like a title was like, it was really Ric Flair or like Dusty Rhodes or whatever. Bruh.
That happened.
Doom took it to Ric Flair and Arn Anderson.
Yes, be clear.
Let's be clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
They took it to them.
Right.
And the matches that went off were like, was people winning by no contest and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, niggas wasn't losing matches. Niggas wasn't getting pinned.
Right. Like, yo, to kind of paint this in real time for y'all, happenstance or not, what happened to Kofi Kingston would never happen in the Butch Reed.
No.
For the title or no title. Ain't none of that. And like, you're not, Brock Lesnar's not just coming through cycloning my man and that's it. Like, no. Like Butch Reed was at no point in his time, even in the matches he lost, no sucker shit. Like, I don't remember if there was ever a Butch Reed Ultimate Warrior match, but I can guarantee you if it was, it's the longest one he had.
It was probably in Mid-South for UWF.
You know what I'm saying? Like
when Ultimate Warrior was the Dingo Warrior.
Yeah. Like, and you know what? And also though, real quick, and I hope I'm not just jumping ahead in the show too much. You think about the time period in which Butch Reed wrestled, 70s and 80s primarily, or 90s as well. You gotta think that the way he got a chance, the opportunity that he got to present himself as such, and be given opportunities to be like, somewhat of a main eventer. Like, I don't want to, I mean, you really can't say that he was just a mid-carder, you know what I'm saying? Because his impact and his match quality, his opponents.
And we're going to talk about that coming up because it's something about history. But before you go,
yeah,
I got the clip. Hold on.
Let's go.
This is me, but it's not me. But I felt this kid. Listen.
And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen, with our 12-year-old winner of our sweepstakes, Julian Bogan. Julian, you're from Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
Who's your favorite team in the war game?
Doom.
Doom is your favorite team? Well, I don't think they're going to be a team much longer. They just had a big fight, didn't they?
Yes.
Okay, are you having a good time here at Wrestle War?
Yes.
We're glad that you're with us, and we want you to go back to your front row seat because we're getting ready to have the war games here in just a minute. Congratulations on winning the sweepstakes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for you that watched our...
I'm going to play this one more time because I want you guys to pay attention to the question that Jim Ross asked him.
Right. Yes.
He asked him who's his favorite team in the War Games.
Right. The
Which
match.
is coming up next. The match. Play this again. I want you guys to pay attention.
And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen, with our 12-year-old winner of our sweepstakes, Julian Bogan. Julian, you're from Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
Who's your favorite team in the War Game?
Doom.
Doom is your favorite team? Well, I don't think they're going to be a team much longer. They just had a big fight, didn't they?
Man, that's how real it was.
And Julian is black. For those who are listening to the pod, the audience, Julian's black. The only black tag team in that damn company just broke up.
Yeah.
Julian was sad.
Very.
I was Julian. So then after that, Ron Simmons and Butch Reed goes into a series of matches. Then it was that Super Brawl. They had a lights out match. But basically the lights went off and they had a match. So they gave them some huff-ass matches. This is why I didn't think Ron Simmons was ever going to touch the World Championship, because they broke up and it was just like, yo, we're going to have these series of matches. Now, Ron Simmons' in-ring career wasn't over, but being in one of the big organizations was. But I want to take it back to why Butch Reed, to me, and what I learned about Butch Reed in the ring is so important. Now, I don't know Butch Reed as a man. I don't know if he donated to causes, whatever. But, and we talked about this during the Junkyard Dog show. When the WWE Network came about and they added Mid-South, Jonathan Hood told me to watch Mid-South Wrestling. So I did. And I'm watching it and I see Junkyard Dog and I'm like, yo, Junkyard Dog, cold motherfucker. They love him. This bigger than the WWF. What the fuck was going on? Damn, everybody and their mama in the mid card, in the WWE mid card at the time, is on fucking Mid-South. Jimmy Hart, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase. What the fuck was this? I mean, I knew it, but I knew it was like this. But then I started seeing some of the main events. And I saw Junkyard Dog and Butch Reed being cool. But then Butch Reed turned it on Junkyard Dog. And I started seeing the main events. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time ever in my life, and the last time in my life, that I saw two black men, two black people, main eventing shows, main eventing matches, being the hottest match on the card. Junkyard Dog versus Butch Reed in Mid-South Wrestling in New Orleans, Louisiana, was selling out the Superdome. Ladies and gentlemen, you tell me the last time matter of fact, tell me the first time you saw two black men main event a match, a show, a pay-per-view. When? When? You haven't. Still to this day. That's what Butch Reed did. To the point where when I was telling y'all that I believe that the New Day should break up, it was Butch Reed, Junkyard Dog. Was that reason? That's why. It was that storyline which allowed me to even think that I could be like, okay, this would work. Two black guys fighting, wrestling, main eventing. So let me read this to you. I went to Wikipedia.
Okay.
All right. With the Wikipedia. And Jim Neidhart tagged up with him too. And Terry Taylor and Butch Reed had a feud. All right, so but even before that, so let me go. Butch Reed established himself as a force to be reckoned with while competing in Bill Watts Mid-South Wrestling from 1983 to 1986. In Mid-South, he was known as Hacksaw Butch Reed and came into the territory as a tag team partner for the main face in the territory, Junkyard Dog. Butch Reed immediately came face-to-face with Hacksaw Jim Duggan over the Hacksaw nickname. 1983, Duggan was a part of a heel group called the Rat Pack with Ted DiBiase and Matt Bourne. You know Matt Bourne is Doink the Clown or Big Josh in WCW.
Yeah.
They used every dirty move that Hacksaw Jim Duggan used every dirty move he could think of to beat Butch Reed. Reed and Duggan would feud over the Hacksaw name until Jim Duggan turned face. Jim Duggan's face turn resulted into Reed's heel turn when Jim Duggan was picked to be on the Junkyard Dogs team other than Butch Reed. Butch Reed goes on TV stating that Butch Reed's going to have to start looking out for Butch Reed, which prompted Junkyard Dog to join him in the ring. Brother, what you talking about? After back and forth, Reed attacked Junkyard Dog and was soon joined by Ted DiBiase. And on July 16th, 1983, Butch Reed won the Mid-South North American Heavyweight Championship and proceeded to turn back Jay Junkyard Dog's challenges. Reed's arrogance made him agree to the Mid-South fans to pick who his opponent would be, and they picked Junkyard Dog.
Right.
The crazy thing is, here are the people that they could have chose, which shows you not only the popularity of Junkyard Dog, but the popularity of black man versus black man.
Yeah.
Which don't happen. The choices were Junkyard Dog, Jim Duggan, Khrushchev Kursev, who just got to the promotion, who we know is Smash from Demolition or the Repo Man, and Magnum TA.
Wow.
They picked Junkyard Dog.
Right. Like hold on, let's let that breathe, because some of y'all probably need to Google who Magnum TA is right now.
Right, yes.
Because people aren't supposed to be chosen over Magnum TA in this pocket of time.
At all.
Like for everybody that may be like unaware, the aspiration for Magnum TA was Ric Flair level, was Bret Hart level, was Shawn Michaels level, was Steve Austin level. Like, you're not supposed to be picking above like, matter of fact, they threw that out there just to make it look like there was a choice, and Magnum TA was probably supposed to get this match.
So I'm gonna tell you how this even gets deeper for black wrestling. So, one, Butch Reed was like, nah, don't none of them deserve it. I'm not fighting dude. He fought Magnum TA and he lost the belt to Magnum TA. But the same night, him and Jim the Anvil Neidhart beat Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Magnum TA to win the tag team championship. And then he got the belt back from Magnum TA because he said that this wasn't legal because the fans chose Junkyard Dog. So for a short time, he was a double champion.
He's like, yeah, they don't make the matches. Butch Reed,
yes, him and Jim Neidhart end up feuding, and then when Jim Neidhart goes to WWF, he feuds with Terry Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going through all Mid-South, and that he put Terry Taylor over, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Terry Taylor here. Do your Googles.
Yeah, please.
But then he starts wrestling the Junkyard Dog again. During a match with him and Reed and Buddy Landell, attacked Junkyard Dog when he was performing in Stagger Leap. Check our archives. Listen to the Junkyard Dog show. This is why this is important.
Yeah.
They jump him and they paint him yellow. Then the war brought in Sonny King and Ernie Ladd to team with Junkyard Dog. Mm-hmm. So it was Butch Reed and Buddy Landale teaming up against two black men. And then they had dog collar matches. Fam, them are feuds reserved for white people.
Man.
Now, as racist as Bill Watts can come across.
Right. Cowboy Bill. Shout to him.
He knew these niggas was going to make me some money. And he put them in a high spot, which you will not see still to this day.
Right, yeah.
So when Butch Reed dies, I need y'all to understand that Butch Reed was more than Doom. Butch Reed was more than the manager of Jive So Pro. Butch Reed elevated black wrestling to the likes that we still have not seen in wrestling.
Yes.
Because we ain't seen two black men at the top of a card since.
Right.
If I'm missing it, tell me who. Don't say Harlem Heat when they broke up.
Right. Because they're not.
They wasn't the main event.
Yeah.
They wasn't.
And once Booker T started taking off, y'all forgot who Stevie Ray was.
Right. And what's crazy is Junkyard Dog is Jonathan Hood said he left. Ain't tell Bill Watts shit. So the biggest face in the company is gone. Now let me read this. Just as the feud was about to reach its heated highlight, Junkyard Dog left Mid-South Wrestling and signed with the WWF without informing Bill Watts. This meant that the Federation was without their biggest face, and the shows had to be hastily rebooked. Here's a name that I already told y'all about that Jake the Snake beat at WrestleMania 2. Bill Watts brought in Master G, who was journeyman George Wells, to take Junkyard Dog's place. But the
wait,
go ahead.
The MAS, the TER, the G with the double E,
Master G.
Yo,
without the double E.
Oh, so okay, because I was like, yo, ain't Master
Just
G
let him.
Hill Gang? Like, ain't that copyright?
But the messed up thing about this, well, not messed up thing. The crazy thing about this, that Bill Watts lost a black man. It was like, let me go ahead and bring in another black man.
Man.
Be my top place.
But listen, who thinking like that now though?
Nobody. So the feud between Reed and Master G never took off, forcing Watts to rethink his options. When General Skandar Akbar, do your Googles, into Mid-South to start to build the stable Devastation Inc. Presented Buddy Landale with the Golden Watch, with the understanding that it wasn't actually for Landale, but it was for somebody else that Akbar was trying to recruit. When Landale tried to get a watch to Reed, he became incensed. In the storyline, stopped the watch to begin to brawl with his former partner. Akbar and his cronies came to ringside, which prompted Reed to rant on them getting the crowd behind him, as he told him he didn't need no backup. Hacksaw Jim Duncan came to his rescue, and Reed's face status was cemented. The two Hacksaws feuded with Akbar's army of Landale, Ted DiBiase, Dr. Death Steve Williams, and one of your favorites, Hercules.
Hey, Mr. Hernandez, hello.
The two Hacksaws were successful at first, till Reed came up against Kamala.
Wow.
He proved to be too much for Hacksaw Butch Reed, beating him all over the Mid-South territory until he quietly left.
Oh, wow.
Now,
I did not know this at all.
See, Reed would go on to the AWA for a short stint as Jimmy Garvin's bodyguard, but would return to Mid-South in the middle of 85, a few short months before leaving. In 1985, Butch Reed defeated Dick Murdoch for the North American title. Around this time, he had a famous 1-hour time limit draw with who? NWA World Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair, and feuded with Dirty Dick Slater when Dick Slater helped Ric Flair keep the world title.
Oh man, Butch Reed, man. Butch Reed, man. Listen, black man wrestling for an hour. Come on, man. You don't hear about like as Ben keeps saying. Butch Reed has done some things well before all of our times
Yeah.
that still isn't even attempted to be duplicated today. And we are on record for acknowledging as well as saying out loud that this is the greatest time to be a black wrestler or a black wrestling fan. Like this is why we don't just be like, hey, yeah, rest in peace, Butch Reed,
Yeah.
and keep it moving.
Now here is the Slick connection. After leaving Mid-South Wrestling again, Reed turned to Kansas City in the NWA Central States territory. He initially teamed up with Rufus R. Jones as the Soul Patrol. He later turned on Jones and joined the group of manager Slick, who was also in the Central States territory. Slick is the son of Rufus R. Jones. After a brief feud with Jones, Reed feuded with Bruiser Brody. That summer, he lost a loser leaves town match to Brody, and he left the territory along with Slick. Where did they go? They went to the WWF as a package. He dyed his hair blonde, and he became the Natural, an updated version of another all-time great black wrestler, Sweet Daddy Siki.
Oh man.
Do your Googles, ladies and gentlemen.
Please. Like this shit is super fucking important, man. Like this is important to know this as a black wrestling fan. Like no cap. Like we're not just doing this just because like we just trying to get stuck on some nostalgia and trying to prove that we know shit, but like this is why some of these clubhouse rooms be going so fucking left so fucking fast. Because we're not acknowledging shit like this.
So here is what got me upset. And I'm going to text you this documentary on Sweet Daddy Siki, the trailer, so you can look at it, so you can understand the importance of what Butch Reed did by dyeing his hair blonde. That's a tribute to this black wrestler. Okay. Good that we talked about this during when? Black History Month. Hey, so
yeah.
Here's why this is important. Doing your Googles and learning this. So I jumped on Clubhouse the day of Butch Reed's passing. It was a wrestling group that's been on there. I was like, you know what? Let me see if they're talking about Butch Reed. And they wasn't. It was a lady in the group, about 41 years old. She had her avatar changed as Butch Reed. And you're going to see in this document, you see in this video, they talking to Edge, they talking to Bret Hart, they talking to Soul Man Rocky Johnson. Do your Googles, ladies and gentlemen. But they talk in this group, and in the group, the young lady says, I don't know if you guys know, but Butch Reed passed. Like, you know, one of the greatest black wrestlers of all time, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And they was like, oh, yeah, we saw that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we saw that, huh? So no conversation is warranted at that moment.
No real conversation. And what I mean by that is this. It was just like, oh yeah, he was with Doom, with Ron Simmons, right? Yeah. Yeah, wasn't he supposed to win the Intercontinental Championship? Yeah, they were supposed to win the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, they said on something to wrestle, because he was over in Florida. The rumor was he was supposed to win the title, but he didn't make it. He didn't make it to the match. So when he didn't make it to the match, Hulk Hogan was like, "Yo, we got to put the belt on some." They was like, "We got to put the belt on somebody." So then they was like, well, why don't we put it on Wayne, referencing the Honky Tonk Man. That's how the Honky Tonk Man won the title. Now, Bruce Pritchard has said he don't believe that that's how it happened and all of that. But hey, some things happen in passing that we don't know. But as I just talked about, even in reference to Ernie Ladd, Rufus R. Jones, Sweet Daddy Siki, and a couple of other black wrestlers. That right there, my friends, is why Butch Reed is so important to wrestling. This is why Butch Reed is so important to the culture. This is why Butch Reed should be celebrated by us. This is why Butch Reed should be talked about more often than us. We've done it on First Black Champ on multiple occasions. This is also why you all need to do your Googles. I asked in that same group a couple of weeks ago because they was talking about, black wrestlers today, how this person and that person should have won a title and all of that stuff, how this and that was going on. And somebody had referenced Coco Beware. I said, how many of y'all knew who Coco Beware was before he got to the WWF? Or, in fact, how often do you go back when a wrestler debuts? How often do you research them? Like, where did they come from? And I got talked about like I was crazy. Look, there's wrestling fans. There's people who love wrestling. There's wrestling fans. I no longer consider myself a wrestling fan. I love wrestling to the point where when the Undertaker signed with the WWF, I was the only nigga in the hood that was like, yo, that's me, Mark Callis. When Doink the Clown comes through, I'm like, oh, that's Matt Bourne. That's Big Josh. When Butch Reed comes, I'm 6, 7 years old. I don't know that, but as I get older, and now I go get the rent DVDs. Yes, I'm that dude that went to the video store and rented wrestling DVDs while everybody rented a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Shop the Stars and Stripes video in Freeport, Illinois.
Shouts to West Coast Video and High Five Video.
Yeah.
I don't talk about wrestling for play. When we do this show, we're not doing this show just to say we have a wrestling podcast or all of that. Nice. I do this because I love it. If you love wrestling and if you black, I implore, I beg of you, do your Googles. Know who these cats is. Because there's more to Ron Simmons than Farouk. Today on the WWE Network, they got the APA joint that's coming up. But
which is a much better run.
Yes. But know who these cats are. Know who Coco B is. But know who he was before the WWF. Know who Ron Simmons is. But know who he was before he was Farouk. Know who Charles Wright was as the Soul Taker. Go find, he was the Soul Taker. Whoa, let me go find out that is.
Right.
Let me find out what that was. Know who these people were before they even set foot in the WWE or AEW ring.
Right, please.
Especially if they black. But go back. Don't just put up these photos. Like we put up these photos, and I've been putting up these photos every day for Black History Month for some of these wrestlers. Don't just like them. Find out who the fuck Rocky King was.
Yeah.
Find out that was Bad Street. I mean, not Bad Street, but matter of fact, not going to tell you who he was. Because it was before Bad Street. But he got his ass beat by the Freebirds because he fucked up a match. Let me just give you a hint on that. Find out who these cats is, and not just the black wrestlers, the white wrestlers too. Find out Ted DiBiase used to be in the WWF. And then he left and came back as the $1 Million Man. Find out who's popping in AWA. Find out who's popping in Mid-South. You would be surprised. Half the reason why people don't like what's going on because they think this is the first time they seeing it.
Right.
Like you said, a lot of these storylines is regurgitated.
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble that just happened right now happened in 1995. It just got more spots in it.
Yeah.
That's the rant that I said that I was probably going to go on. But I thought it was important because I'm not going to say I saw little to none, but I didn't see enough praise for one of the greatest black wrestlers of all time, one of the pillars of this black wrestling shit in the 80s. The man who at a major organization was having sold out matches in the Louisiana fucking Superdome, ladies and gentlemen, where they hold goddamn Super Bowls at. Right. Sold out Louisiana Superdome matches with Junkyard Dog.
Right.
In front of black and white people. And we still, to this day, have not gotten that.
Right.
This is why JR was saying last year, New Day break up. You got them on both sides. You got your Ron Simmons and your Butch Reed all over again. You got your Junkyard Dog and your Butch Reed all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the heel in both of those?
Right.
The natural Hacksaw, Butch Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said a black man could put a black man over. Because you better believe Junkyard Dog put Butch Reed over in them matches. And vice versa. Right. And then they started doing it again. It was putting over other wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because let's keep it a buck. There might not be a $1 Million Man. And there might not be a Hacksaw Jim Duggan. There might not even been a Doink if it wasn't for Butch Reed because of what he did in Mid-South.
Right. Yeah.
For them. So rest in peace, Butch Reed.
Yes.
Prayers and condolences to the family of Butch Reed.
Yes.
Prayers and condolences to Ron Simmons because this shit debuts today, the weekend of his former tag team partner passing.
Right. Word.
Shouts out to the black wrestling fans who saluted that man and know about that man. And I tell all of you, do your Googles when it comes to this wrestling. First black champ. We always gonna talk about the black wrestlers, but do your Googles about all things wrestling, man. Find out what happened before you, because you better believe you might find out why some of the storylines that you see right now currently is old as shit. That's all I got for today, G.
Word. No, and I'm right with you. And as we give flowers to Butch Reed, I want to give, but we want to give flowers to another podcast that saluted us for putting y'all up on Butch Reed 2 years ago. And so shout to YK Wrestling, at YK Wrestling, also Young Kings Wrestling. They definitely hit us up and was like, yo, First Black Champ talked about Butch Reed like 23, 24 months ago. If I ever find a link, he said, if I find a link, I'll show y'all. I get the tweet alert because I turn my my alerts on like where they don't ping me, but like they show up now. And I was like, oh shit, good, I didn't miss that. Went right to the episode, found it, and we shared that. They retweeted it. So shout to those brothers over there that do the Young Kings Wrestling podcast. Y'all make sure y'all follow them as well, because I mean, hey, just out of respect, you know what I'm saying? If they're paying attention to our content, we paying attention to theirs, and we sharing alike. And look, man, we say it in jest, but yo, First Black Champ really told y'all first. Like on a lot of shit, like First Black Champ told you first, because we really do come from a genuine place as we do this podcast each and every week. We're not the show that's going to tell you everything that's wrong with wrestling and how one brand is over the other, or how this person should step down or retire. And it's not all about that. It's really about the love of this wrestling shit and the people that's in it, the things that we've grown up watching and seeing. And we want to share that with all of y'all. And we hope that you've really taken the information before you hop on any platform where you crack any mic and start talking shit you think you know, just because of what you just watched versus what you've really been researching, if you really say you love this shit. So
pretty much.
Pretty much so there's that. I know this is usually the time we do the Guaranteed segment, and I know you already gave yours, but please reiterate it for the people. I give one. This might be a hot take for guarantee, but this is where my mind is right now. So I'm going to use this after Bang reiterates what his guarantee was for this week.
The Miz will cash in his Money in the Bank after the Monday after WrestleMania.
Right.
Competition is Edge versus Drew McIntyre. Edge will defeat Drew McIntyre. And then the next night, during Edge's PG-13 rated R celebration, the Miz is going to cash in his Money in the Bank.
Okay. Everything in me right now is saying that Bliss is going to be Superstar of the Year as a Slammy. Like, I don't know if I'm just not used to seeing great women wrestling characters, and maybe that's why I'm so high on the shit. But I really am just I'm just really impressed. I'm just really overly impressed with the job that she is doing with really setting herself apart from just the other women's wrestlers and wrestlers, period, honestly, right now. When you really look at it, like, obviously blonde hair, blue eyes, short, nice little shape on her, easy to look at. She could totally take the Kelly route or the Tori Wilson route or, any of the other poppin' blondes of like yesteryear or even currently today, and now we are in a space where women wrestling and knowing how to wrestle, it's not an anomaly anymore. So I think this is the most important time to show character and to show range and to show what you can do. And right now in the world of wrestling, out of all the accounts I follow on Instagram and everything I can watch on the network and what I see on YouTube in passing, I just got to say, nobody is doing a better job of building a character than Bliss is right now, where we are in wrestling. And the thing is, people have been given gimmicks, given factions. I mean, hell, we don't even, in a lighthearted, jokingly way, call her female Bray Wyatt. Like, that's how much she's carving her own lane at this shit.
Hey, man, she took what's the name finishing move too? Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
Put that in that shit. I was like, Velveteen Dream can't use that motherfucker no more.
Right, it's over with. And matter of fact, and low key, Damian Priest took Elias shit too. I was like, damn. Like,
figure it out.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. You got to do something else. But yeah, man. I mean, and all of that, to me, she's checking off all the boxes very early for somebody that should be Superstar of the Year. She's reaching phenom territory. She's reaching the, hey, I don't have to be in a title hunt to be, relevant or in the main event. And that's important. That's important. I think she's drawing a line in the sand of just women's wrestling right now. It ain't now. It's not about the women that wrestle and the women that can't. It's the, hey, I'm really a wrestling superstar, and all you bitches can just wrestle. So, yeah.
Well, look. First and foremost, again, rest in peace to Butch Reed. It's wild because there's been a lot of people that's just been passing.
Yeah,
like a lot of people. Yeah. Who going next? So,
shit. Sorry. Whoa. And maybe this ain't the right show to do it. Did you see the story on Tyler Rex?
Yeah. Oh, this is the show to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't want to go there, but I will for this sake because I think.
Should this be a short?
This could be a short because I want to bring in Big Mo.
Okay.
I want to bring in Big Mo. I think it would be rude of us,
yes,
to have this conversation without having somebody who is a part of the community.
Yes. Fair.
Give us a better understanding. But for context, shameless plug, new piece of content coming out soon. For context, Tyler Rex, who was in the WWE for a short time, he was at OVW and then moved over, is now what's Gabby Tough?
I think that was his name. I'm sorry, her name. I gotta read it again.
So now, Tyler Rex is a transgender woman.
Yes.
Her name is Gabby Tough. Her pronouns are she, her.
Yes.
And a very interesting story. And yes, I do believe it's a short. I was going to actually talk to you after the show to get with a friend of ours, Morgan Sherm, so she could talk about, this impact on wrestling, because,
yes.
I don't think she wrestles currently. But however, between Gabby and Nyla Rose, there's a transgender woman that's currently in wrestling, and then a transgender woman who's a former wrestler. And I think it's interesting to find out, thoughts on this from a perspective where we're not being ignorant.
No, absolutely.
So that's all we got. We bring that up. We can bring that up, have a short for that, because I think it's an important conversation.
Okay.
But yeah,
awesome.
That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, look, as always, we appreciate y'all for checking out the podcast every single week, and even the callbacks, man. It is so greatly appreciated. Thank you. Obviously, to people like YK Wrestling, Jonathan Hood, you know what I'm saying?
Because of that. I think
no, absolutely. And we appreciate people that talk up the content, talk about the content. Shout out to Boogie D also in that mix this week, has actually shouted us out a few times, first black champ, and he's been on the show a couple times. Yep, happy 50th birthday to him. And we're gonna keep doing what we do, man. We're gonna keep talking this wrestling shit like nobody else in the world. And we see the content, the dedication, and the just the effort paying off in ways that we didn't expect. So there's no reason for us to stop now. So, keep on buying the merch, keep listening to the show, keep making yourself a part of the show with your tweets, your likes, your shares, your rating, your subscribing to the Barber's Chair Digital. Anything that you do that shows a positive effort and energy towards the First Black Champ podcast, we obviously and always will appreciate it. And always know that if you ever want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Camp, bang, we are out.
Along with his manager nursing a bad back right now, and we know why, Slick.
Now, you seem to be somewhat an intelligent man.
Well, thank you.
I want to ask you your mediocre opinion.
Yes?
Why in the world would a man who is a former intercontinental heavyweight champion, a man who is respected and cheered and loved, adored by these...
Revered?
Oh, don't you shut up and give me a chance what I got to say, you onion here. Anyway, as I was saying, why would a man like that have the audacity, I'm talking about you, Chico, to put his hands on me? One of the most prestigious commodities in professional wrestling today. Haven't bothered nobody. And this man has the nerve to pick me up and slam me in the floor, all because he doesn't want to have to deal with this man here. Well, we can't get him right now. So we're going to take the next best thing. And that happened to you.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to take Pedro Nothing Happened Morales right out of Miami. Boy, they got too many people like you down there anyway. I know that they wouldn't mind getting rid of you, chap. So let me tell you something. Pedro, I got a message for you to give to Tito. You see, once I get done with you, boy, once I give you the most natural whooping you ever had in your life, I'm going to be whooping you so bad you're going to like it. Then you're going to go back and you're going to tell Tito. how good it might be. It's gonna hurt for a long time, but after a while, Butch Reed will be whooping on you so sweet and so good you gonna like it. And then after that vaccine on, I'm gonna tie you and I'm gonna gag you and I'm gonna let Slick get sick and I'm gonna let him wear you out, boy.
Just like I'm your daddy.
Because that's what you need, sucker. You stepped out of line, and so you know what's going to happen. Somewhere down the line, after I get through combing Pedro Morales' nappy head, we're going to give you a public pardon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for asking me my opinion. I thank you, Slick. We'll see you tonight.